We are back grading another one of your Dynasty football teams.
Back at it again.
All right. Now, if you want your team in consideration, there's a link in the description below where you can join our Discord, be a part of the community. And there is a Dynasty Team Grades tab where you can submit your team. Now, we can't do everyone's, but you can at least submit yours for contention. We are looking at Herbert's team today. So shout out to you, Herbert. And a little bit of context. This is a team that he took over as an orphan. So someone orphaned this team. What is an orphan team? It means someone decided they didn't want to play Dynasty anymore, and the league found Herbert to be that replacement to take over that team. So let's break this down team by team. You can now see the team on the screen, and it's interesting because, I mean, quarterback straight off the bat. What are your thoughts here with this quarterback room?
Yeah,
we'll go position by position.
Yeah, there's some good pieces. Obviously, Josh Allen, Daniel Jones, and then Mac Jones. I'm interested that Mac Jones is on the taxi squad.
I mean, he hit on the taxi there. I mean, if you can hit one player on your taxi, for the whole year, then you should feel great. And Mac Jones is a huge hit on your taxi there.
Absolutely. So I think your quarterback room is really solid here. I think Daniel Jones has one more good solid year. If he does something special this year, you never know. Maybe they keep him or they move forward with him. But at least you have Josh Allen, who is the future, and Mac Jones, who is definitely the future as well. So I think you are solid and set on quarterback, and you have depth just in case something happens. Drew Lock's there. I think maybe somebody you're okay to cut just to get some room on your team is maybe Taysom Hill. I'm not necessarily worried about having him since you have 2, 4, 5 quarterbacks right now. Might as well get rid of Taysom Hill, get another bench spot if you will.
Taysom Hill won't have quarterback contention anymore. They're going to use him as a tight end. So
that is true. That is interesting.
He might be worth holding on just because we're going to talk about it. But looking at your bench, it is real.
It's
bad. I don't know what word to use, but there's not much there. So Taysom could be worth holding on to. Actually. But as far as the quarterback room goes, I agree. Mac Jones was huge on your taxi. I mean, you can't say a quarterback room is bad when it has Josh Allen and Mac Jones. This is probably your best position. Mac Jones could develop into a top 12 guy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed to a couple ideas here. Number one, I would potentially be looking to move Drew Lock or Daniel Jones midseason if they have a good game or if they have a good streak.
Okay.
If you can be aiming to get some second-round picks in future drafts, it could be 2023, it could be 2024. But if you can aim to get some future second-round picks, and let's say Daniel Jones has a 4-touchdown game or something. I mean, I'm okay to kind of sell him off of the hype. Same with Drew Lock, because these aren't quarterbacks that I really believe in long-term. So if you believe in them, feel free to hold them. But that's an idea that I would potentially place for this team is, hey, some of these values you're going to have to wait mid-season really to pounce on. But as far as Mac Jones goes, I'm not looking to sell him right now.
No.
I would say this year you hold on to him. And I think everything that I'm going to suggest today is that your team is going to be really ready to compete in 2023.
Yes.
So with Mac Jones, if he has a similar season next year, then maybe you could use some of your draft capital to upgrade the quarterback position and get 2 real elite guys there. But at the moment, I think you're pretty set, and I wouldn't make any moves. Let's look at the running back position. This is
definitely the weakest room.
This is by far the weakest room. There's not really a single running back that I would consider even flex-worthy at this point, Badake.
There is absolutely no one. Obviously, you can see on the screen Kenneth Gainwell, James Robinson, Benjamin, but even then, that is still
Jamal
nothing.
Williams.
Like, there is no one here that is, you're right, that is a flex option. That is a viable starting running back. It doesn't look good at all. Obviously, with one of these 2023 first-round picks, you hope that you can get a solid running back in the future. I was actually struggling in the running back position because I actually don't know anything that he can do.
Well, I mean, this is why I keep saying that this team is ready to compete in 2023. I know there's always people who comment on these videos and say, "Well, he can compete now." Yes, he can, but it might impact your future. Like in 2023, you're about to be the best team in this league, legitimately. So if you want to go compete right now, you might have to go get players that I don't really want to bet on long term, like Dalvin Cooks of the world, right? Like the Zekes, like the James Connors and the Fournettes. These aren't really guys that I want to invest in right now. And I think 2023 is really your year. So I wouldn't want to get much better as a team because that would hurt my draft capital.
Right.
But, there's a couple names that come to mind in the 2023 class for me. Bijan Robinson. I mean,
yeah,
I think Bijan he's the only running back that's come out since Saquon that I could say is a Saquon talent.
Wow.
Bijan Robinson.
Give it a say.
Okay. Jahmyr Gibbs is a different type of running back, but man, he could be explosive in the NFL. Tank Bigsby, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
These are all guys that I think with the amount of 2023 firsts that you have, which you have 4 on your squad right now,
that's right.
You should be able to grab at least 1 or 2 of these guys. And then with the second round pick that you have, maybe you can make a trade to put yourself in contention next year. But for me, again, all eyes point towards 2023. There are a lot of good pieces, but I'm not going to panic right now and make moves to improve my running back room for this year, just to compete this year, because there's so many foundational pieces. And as far as James Robinson goes, I'm very much on the, I'm staying away from Cam Akers. So obviously I'm staying away from James Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
There's an even worse situation there.
Yeah.
But
it's definitely it's definitely hard. I guess the only thing I can really think of, Mitch, I know you probably won't like this, but the one person I guess, which is a great kind of segue, but the one person I am worried about in the wide receiver room is DK. On the quarterback, maybe they're going to get a quarterback in 2023, but I'm not sure what this team's going to look like. Maybe, not saying you should sell him, shop him, see what you can get. Maybe you can get a first. Maybe you can get a running back that you believe in. I doubt you can get a Brees for DK, or maybe you throw in DK and an early second if you have it.
I don't think DK for Brees is unrealistic based off of where they're both going in startup drafts.
Yeah,
I don't think that's unrealistic.
I think I personally wouldn't mind making that transition purely because I'm unsure of DK's future, where I feel like Brees is a solidified, at least in my opinion, a solidified top 5, top 8 running back moving at least for the next 2 to 3 years. So that's just a thought process. Not saying you should do it. Maybe shop it around, see what you can do with. I guess the only person I am worried about in the wide receiver room.
Yeah. You know what I'm gonna say. Like, don't sell DK.
Yeah, don't sell. Exactly. I know you're gonna say that, but
so I'll keep saying this. Like, if DK's in this class, he's probably the 101 for me. Right. I mean, he's absolutely the best wide receiver if he was in this class. So I just don't want to sell DK right now. I think it's the wrong time, but I get it. Shop him around if you want.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a ton of hope here at wide receiver.
Absolutely.
At the top, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The depth is real weak, but because, I mean, even if you look at the depth, it's not like there's really plug-and-play guys even at the wide receiver position.
No.
There's not really a plug-and-play player on the bench. So, again, another reason why I think we shouldn't be competing just yet, because even if one injury happens, there's not even enough depth for a plug-and-play player. So, drafted Garrett Wilson at the 104. Unproven, but could be a threat for years to come on your team there.
100%.
Jerry Jeudy, another unproven talent, but has never had a quarterback like Russell Wilson. And outside of that, no other player intrigues me except for MVS, because, I mean, signed a 3-year deal in Kansas City. He's at least intriguing. Like he's worth keeping on the team is what I'm trying to say.
One guy I am, and this is just probably for a 1-year deal, maybe you can get some value, maybe a lot of people are overlooking, is Randall Cobb. Okay. He is the only veteran wide receiver on this team that has chemistry with Aaron Rodgers. It feels like, obviously outside of Allen Lazard, but maybe this could, I said this last year, which I was wrong, but I was like, you know what? Maybe he could be the safety blanket if MVS didn't work out at the time and Allen Lazard didn't work out at the time. But that wasn't the case. But this is different. Devontae Adams is gone. There are so many vacant targets. He could be the safety blanket. And maybe
if he becomes that, then you sell him.
Yeah, and you sell him. Exactly. Maybe you can sneak in a mid to early second, which I doubt. But maybe you can get something like that and then sell him midway.
Yeah, no way.
To a win now team. Unless he goes crazy and he's like top 10, top 12 wide receiver, then there's some good opportunity there. But that's the only other guy I can think of. Other than that, I think it's Jerry, DK, and Garrett Wilson moving forward.
Hey, just quickly on that 604, I wanted to say something about the running backs. If Keontae Ingram is available at the 604, that should be your pick, in my opinion. Just wanted to throw that out there. Probably not available, but I just wanted to throw it out there.
Yeah.
As far as the wide receivers, I keep saying it. Everything about this video is pointing towards 2023, but it is a very good class in 2023. If you can get 2 running backs and 2 wide receivers in the 2023 class, I really think you're going to set up for years of domination. Like, you could be a Patriots type dynasty here. I think of Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think of Jordan Addison, who might be transferring to USC. That could definitely raise his draft capital. Boutte out of LSU is very interesting as well. So this is good news for you with all these picks because you already have a young core. It's not as if you've got, a D-Hop on the team or an Adams and they don't really fit your timeline.
Right.
All the wide receivers on your team, I don't think you need to really do much with because, well, the top guys, Judy and Metcalf, those are really your only core guys, but because I think they fit your timeline. Let's look at the tight end position. Dalton Schultz, a suitable starter for now.
That's really it. Tyler Conklin,
I would say just quickly, maybe at the 604, if Keontae Ingram's gone, you use that to grab Jake Ferguson, which is a tight end that Dallas drafted. We made a video about him pretty recently. I don't know if I released it before this one or not, but Jake Ferguson, I believe, could be the heir apparent for Dalton Schultz. So he is worth picking up because he could be in a similar situation to Dalton. John Bates is an interesting guy in Washington, but there's not a ton there at tight end.
No, not a ton there at tight end. Maybe I'm trying to think.
Tight end is like the easiest position to try and trade for, though.
Yeah, that's what I was
hard
thinking.
to trade for a starting tight end, so I wouldn't really panic just yet.
I was thinking that just to give you an idea, another opportunity. Maybe if Schultz is doing good midseason or is not doing good or whatever the case may be, see what you can get for him. I doubt it will be much, obviously, if he's not doing good. But if he is taking off and he finishes top 5 this past year, or top 8, if I'm not mistaken, I think he can get some value maybe towards the end of next year's season if he doesn't re-sign by then. So
yeah, and he's not old either. Dalton Schultz isn't old, so even if he doesn't stay in Dallas, he could re-sign somewhere else and present some sort of value. But I think this is a very good team, and I said it at the beginning of the video. When I say a very good team, I mean as in there is enough draft capital for me to envision this being a championship team in a couple years.
Okay.
So in 2023, I think you're taking over the league. For an orphan team, I mean, this is a lot more than a lot of orphan teams get. You got Josh Allen, DK Metcalf. So a lot of teams don't get these kind of pieces. So 2023, you're set for dominance. I gave you a B+ because I think there's a lot of upside to this team, but you have to be patient. I think if you're not patient, you might spend some of those firsts and then hurt your team long term.
For me, I gave it a C+, B- purely because I believe you really have to hit on these first round pick, the 2023 first rounders. You have to. And I know a lot of people like to draft based off talent, and some people like to draft based on needs. And it's going to feel like you're going to have to draft based off needs. And if these running backs start, which I doubt, but if these running backs start to fall off and they're not worth, depending on where these first round picks, let's just say you have 2 in the top 5 and then 2 in the bottom half, and these guys somehow, there's only one running back that's worth to be a first round pick. I think it'll be really tough because then this is another year that you have to push back to get another running back, unless you sell one of these first rounds for a running back, a proven running back at the time. So
exactly. For me, I think, rookie drafts, I'm always going off talent, and then you can trade for need. So, for example, he got Garrett Wilson this year. That's not impossible for him to flip Garrett Wilson for Kenneth Walker. It might take a little bit, but you know what I mean? Like it's like I would always go talent, but I get it. And there's a lot of good running backs next year. There really is.
Yeah, there really is. So I doubt there. I mean, it's going to be so hard to draft with all the talent coming in. I mean, at the moment it feels like there's 10 wide receivers, about 8 running backs, about another 6 quarterbacks. Like it's going to be a jumble. Like we don't know who to take. At least that's what it feels like right now.
Yeah, I think there's some guys that are clearly like at the top of their tiers, but in a year from now, we could be saying literally anything. So, but yeah, this is a good team and a clear direction as well. So Comment down below. Let us know what your thoughts are on Herbert's team.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch
now,
it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/fantasylandfam.